ladies and gentlemen. Episode number 5. Lou, can I get a high five there, bro? Let's just high five me. Yeah, let's go. What is up? Welcome back to the Respawn podcast, baby. We're back, episode 5. Lou, say how's it?
How's it?
Nice.
I gotta stop doing that.
You really got to stop doing that because eventually putting in a cricket sound over there is just gonna be weird, man. It's
Oh
it's
man, I
gonna be
went through a
really weird.
deliberation in my mind. I was like, do I just stick with the awkward greetings I've been doing? Or do I bring some hype to the table? And Lou being Lou, I just stuck with the awkward greeting, man. But how's it, peeps? Welcome to episode 5. Yeah, we are.
We have made it. Oh my goodness. 5, the number of grace. Praise the Lord. We've made it. Also,
Amen. Hallelujah.
I just want to make a comment, Lee. You were talking about how I have starting anxiety, right? So yes, we were setting up and everything, and it normally takes like 20 minutes about there, right? Minimum
Uh-huh.
20 minutes before we actually say, okay, are you ready? Let's get it. Let's go, right? And you just kind of
Yeah.
like wait around. But the difference is in those 20 minutes, I'm sorting out my awkward greeting. What are you doing when you're waiting in those 20 minutes?
I'm waiting for you, bro. That's what's happening. Consistently every episode, I have to wait 25 minutes, man. There used to be technical issues. I don't know what the excuse is anymore. That's
Yeah,
what I'm
funnily
saying. It's
enough,
starting anxiety because there ain't no technical issues anymore.
they ain't. I mean, stream's looking good, colors popping, audio sounding great. So yeah, we're here. I still have starting anxiety. That's fine. Maybe one day I'll be a professional and I'll get over it. I don't know. We'll see
But
what
to
happens.
interject, right? To interject, there is an art to awkwardness. It doesn't just come naturally, bro. You have to understand to make a situation truly awkward, it takes like a specific amount of skill. So I'm busy working on some degree of my greeting while I'm waiting for you. You feel
Okay.
me?
Yeah, yeah. You know what's also a skill, bro?
Yeah, tell me.
Yeah, it's talking absolute hogwash. I don't know what the
Ah.
I
To
don't
the
know what
audience, this is the sound of jealousy. This
oh,
is
is
the
that
sound of a man that cannot face reality. That awkwardness is an art. You know, you can make
oh,
subtle decisions on day to day living, right? Where you can go
yeah.
from, if you enter into an awkward situation, are you going to be the one that's left feeling the most awkward or not? And your goal should always make sure, or should always be, to make sure that you're not the one that's feeling the most awkward, right? So awkward situation is it's horrible. Only if you're the one that's feeling the most awkward. Huh.
So you want to walk away feeling the least awkward.
Yeah.
All right.
And
Well, listen.
I have to
We
make the other person feel more awkward. So it's an art, man.
we did say that the Respawn podcast is aimed at doing things a better way. So ladies and gents, there you go. You got your top tip for episode 5 is in awkward situations, make sure that you're the one walking away feeling the least awkward from the man Lou himself. So thanks, Lou, for
Yeah,
the
it'll be
top
in
tip.
my upcoming TED talk. So
Oh,
keep
nice,
a lookout for
nice.
it. Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. But
Thanks.
quick shout out to all our viewers, followers, subscribers, likers, all the rest. Thank you so much for the amazing support for all the content these last couple of weeks. I think we were quite overwhelmed with some of the metrics. We were like, "What? This is crazy." We've just started and we're getting, some really, really good engagement. You know,
Yeah.
we did agree we had to be patient and stick it out for a while. Which is fine. That's what we're gonna
Hmm.
do. The algorithm's going to look after us, and obviously all you beautiful people who are watching and listening are also going to share and like and comment and subscribe and everything else that you need to do. But we are here with episode 5, and for episode 5 I just want to state that last week we had a bit of an issue with our podcast. Okay, some clever person, we're not at liberty to say who it was, messed up the linking from our Acast hosting site. Okay, and what happened was we had to recreate the show. So on all the platforms, right, whether you're in Google Podcasts, Spotify, Apple, Deezer, whatever it is, okay, please do us a favor and research, search again for the Respawn podcast, and you're gonna find a new show that has the 4+ episodes. Make sure you're subscribed to that one. Okay, so again, reiterating, search it again on your favorite platform, and make sure you subscribe to the show that has the 4 or plus episodes. And you can unsubscribe from the last one. That thing's just gonna float there. We have to figure out how we're gonna get rid of that. I don't know, Lou. We'll just leave it there. Maybe. I don't
Yeah,
know.
so visually the only difference is that the old one had a gray background behind the Respawn logo. The new one's got a white background. So apart from there
Nice.
being 4 episodes, if you see the white background, click subscribe to that one and you'll be up to date with the podcast across all of our channels.
Fantastic. When you say gray versus white, is that like for a normal person or for like Mr. Graphic Designer like you are?
No, no, like a literal difference, gray versus
Okay.
white.
Okay.
Because
Yeah.
if you
Cause.
search both,
uh,
it'll come up at times. So
okay.
yeah,
Okay. Cool.
it's a
All
literal
right, Laka.
difference. It's not
So
fancy.
nice. All right. Cool. So that's where we are. I'm happy about it. But kicking off episode 5, Lou, we got some hectic things to talk about tonight. I think in the last week, or is it 2 weeks? Week and a half. Eh?
Yeah, it's been
Yeah.
about 10 days now.
Week and a half, 10 days. I think everyone's aware of the Israel Palestine situation.
Yep, pretty difficult not to be aware of it. It's another global event that's hit our doorsteps, our front patios, and it's something that I'm sure everyone is aware of by now.
Mm, mm.
As we've seen from mainstream media, mostly everyone's picked a side by now. So it's
Yeah, look,
definitely
it's
something that's taken place, man, and it's something that we feel that we need to discuss.
yeah, I think that what you said about everyone's taken a side now. It's important. I mean, everyone knows this is a Christian show, well, it's
Yeah,
Christian based. And this show is all about showing the better way, which is Christ's way, you know. So I think apart from everything that can be said about it, I did make a mention on Sunday, and I said, a lot of people aren't prepared for the conversation of the Middle East drama. That whole history that's there. I mean, the amount of research and everything you got to do to be able to understand
yeah,
exactly what's taking place. And more importantly, a lot of people don't want to go to the extent that they need to go in terms of understanding and finding out about different factors that are at play, without
100%. Yeah,
having to put on a tinfoil hat, that pointy one. You know that thing. But what we will say is, ladies and gents, if you're watching right now, do not get sucked into another global agenda. The dangerous part about this one is that it's potentially a war without borders. They've made it about religion and all that other kind of stuff, and the call around the world to choose a side and take allegiance and all that kind of stuff. Listen, guys, take responsibility for your choice and be a peacemaker. Right?
that's
Where
it.
if you are anywhere else in this world, this is not your war. If you're anywhere else in this world, it's not your fight. Don't spread hate. Don't go out and fight. If you want to post true solidarity, get on a plane and go to the front line. That's true solidarity. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Disrupting your neighborhoods, damaging property, injuring people, that is not solidarity in any way.
yeah,
It's not just about expressing your solidarity, it's about actually showing up and doing it. Talk is cheap, you know? So if we're going to be in a position where we're expressing support for something, but we're just talking and disrupting people's lives, that doesn't count. And we need to
yeah.
say that. You know what I'm saying? We need to say that. But we will be including a link in the description of this video about how you should make your choice. Israel or Palestine, you got to choose, but we're going to include a link to a video in this description about how you as a Christian are supposed to choose. And the answer is not as straightforward as you think it is. It really isn't, because many big
Mm.
churches have said, "Oh, we pledge allegiance," and many other people have said other things or whatever. When we get down to the brass tacks of what Christ said, that's what we got to choose.
Yeah, 100%. And to your point, there is that there's so many factors to actually consider before making a decision like this. And especially to the younger audience out there that has already experienced since 3 years ago with the COVID-19 pandemic, is that there's been quite a few global events, maybe on not such a big scale, that have taken place where, people have been forced, in a sense, by the media or coerced to pick a side based off the facts that the mainstream media is given, without realizing that what the mainstream media is busy painting to you is a very well thought out story. in a sense, that is being thought about to make you feel a certain way, to make you agree with what they busy pushing you very subtly in the direction of.
Yeah.
And all I can add to what you're saying is that with the amount of different factors going on, the headlines that you're seeing in the mainstream media regarding this Israeli Palestine war, it's not what you should be basing any of your decisions on.
100%.
And as you mentioned, we are basing this podcast and what we are busy talking about here based off the Christian values and the Christian beliefs. But in all honesty, this is to everyone of our listeners out there. Whether you believe in Christ or not, there is a better way to approach these events, these global situations that happen. There's a safer way for you to decide what is right and what is wrong here. Because at the end of the day, let's face it, both sides are suffering casualties. Both sides can make the case for why they think they're justified in doing what they're doing. But at the end of the
Yeah.
day, there's human life at stake here. And human
Exactly.
life is what we are here to tell you that that is what needs to be valued at all costs,
That's it.
above all else.
That's
And
it.
if yeah, if you can make that the center of your decision making, you're already one step in the right direction.
No, it's
You
true.
get what I'm saying?
It's true. 100%, and that's what it comes down to, guys, is it's the innocent blood. They are we made this comment, I think it was episode 2 or 3, where we spoke
Hmm.
about the danger of selfish leaders, and we
Oh
spoke
yeah,
about
collateral damage.
how, yeah, we spoke about the collateral damage that innocent people have to now endure with for selfish leaders' actions. So yeah, I think, you know, without getting too much into it, and just putting that out there, I would rather that we have this discussion with the video in the description. So guys, click it. You're gonna enjoy it. Trust me, it's not that long. But it was CWW. It was our take. All right, on showing what the Bible says about these circumstances, and more importantly, that we as believers, where our allegiance needs to stand. And the truth is that it's not with any nation. you
Yeah,
know our allegiance is with Christ, and that means many different things for us. So please, guys, do us a favor. Click the link in the description after you've watched this video. Save this video or save that video, like, share, and I promise you, it's going to help you. It's going to bring a lot of peace. It's going to help you to discharge the emotion. You know what I'm
that's it.
saying? Because I mean, Lou, when we see the evil of man and leaders and all these kind of things, when we see it in the world and we see people affected by it, it's yes, it affects us hectic.
Yeah,
And like you were saying, mainstream media always takes advantage of the emotions. If they can
that's it.
rile you up and if they can get you in a corner and if they can say, if you don't do something, then you know what, you don't matter, or you're against it, or you're whatever. Don't fall for any of that stuff, guys. Don't fall for any of that stuff, because I'm telling you, in the time to come, watch, and it was the same. 2020 was a virus, 2021 was a jibby jab, 2022 was Ukraine, this year is Israel,
Yeah,
and all the previous three events, we already saw the truth of what was behind those.
yeah,
If everyone can just sit tight for a little while, don't destroy your relationships, protect your neighbors, love your community, pray for each other, love your enemies. And in a little while, we're gonna see what the true issue is behind this atrocity.
yeah. It
Yeah,
really does all come to light eventually.
hundred
It's
percent.
major players at hand, and as with the past 3 years, the major players always end up revealing themselves.
That's
And,
it.
to your point, just sort of to come back to reality, to what you started off with, is that it's, if you're in sunny South Africa, it's really not your war,
Mm,
So don't disrupt the day to day living. Yeah,
mm,
if you want to have an opinion, voice it, but don't voice it in a way that disturbs the everyday people
yeah.
that are carrying on and doing what they need to do.
Mm,
There's a way to be doing these sort of things, and I say this specifically for the youth that is easily riled up. Easily. It gives them a sense of purpose, a sense of a call to arms. Let us do this. This is what's going to give me some sort of purpose, and we have to tell you that your purpose is not getting involved in events that do not really concern you.
mm.
You get what I'm
Exactly.
saying? Because what I
Exactly.
have signed, or what I've seen with the youth is that a lot of them just want a purpose, man. They want to be part of something greater than themselves.
Yeah.
But we need discernment as to what we're going to commit to. We need discernment as to what is actually worth our time and effort. And if you think that joining a certain cause is going to bring more to you, make sure that it really is.
Mm,
Don't just go based off an emotion that's busy fueling you to make this decision. And then you get hurt, or someone around you gets hurt, or some stranger gets hurt. And at the end of the day, what have we got to now justify that decision that was made?
yeah. We haven't helped the real situation in the tiniest bit. We've just disrupted, harmony in society, but oftentimes, these things need to be said because people, once those emotions kicked in, it's difficult for them to see clearly. You know what I'm saying? I
Yeah,
mean, it happens to all of us sometimes, and we just got to be on top of it before the emotions kick in. That's
that's
the
it.
key. That
That
is
is
the
it.
key. So yeah, man. Listen, Lou, how was the feedback on our 4 parts that we did on the process? I mean, anything interesting on your side? What do you think?
Yeah, so apparently I've been neglecting our Apple Podcast audience. But there was a loophole in what happened there, right? So for those who don't know, I'm referring to Bash's brother. So he messages me and he's like, Apple Podcast only has 2 episodes. Because obviously, because of what we mentioned earlier with the whole podcast mix up.
Yeah,
And I forgot to message him to tell him, hey, FYI, there's a new podcast channel out on Apple Podcast. Subscribe to that one.
yeah.
Right. So he's saying, I've failed the Apple Podcast audience. I'm telling him, but why are you only listening to episode 4 today when it released last week, Thursday? He's telling me no, he has watched it, but I failed him. So why should he feel like I'm still looking out for them? That's the
Oh,
most interesting feedback I had from
dude,
episode 4.
it sounds like you're being coerced into a public apology.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, is that
Which
it?
I'm here to tell you, I'm not giving it, man. Because I didn't delete the podcast show. So I think you've been
Y-
coerced, bro.
Yeah, we'll just have to. We won't reveal what happened with that whole podcast show. It's just, technology is great when it works.
When it
No,
works.
that's the
When it
thing.
works.
Yeah. But like
But
I
yeah,
said,
man, on a serious note, sorry to cut you off
yeah,
there. On a
yeah, yeah.
serious note, had some excellent feedback. A lot of people were saying that episode 4 had some of the best nuggets so far
Nice.
for what they've been hearing us speak about when it comes to the process.
Mm,
And what was quite cool is that a lot of it was relatable. A lot of it was almost like a aha moment as to, oh wow, I know that feeling. That's exactly what I went through
yeah,
just like
yeah,
a
yeah.
couple of days ago. And now this is a better way that I can think about it. And what I think is quite cool is that the one part of, or the one specific piece of feedback that I got was that it's affecting them on a day-to-day basis. What
Mm,
they were hearing us talk about in episode 4, to think about that process, to actually, it's not like they just think about it once or twice every month or so. It's like literally they find themselves engaging in an activity daily,
yeah.
and they're thinking of, okay, wait, what am I actually doing here?
Mm.
Which is pretty cool. I mean, it's cool to hear that it's boots on the ground in a sense, the content that we're discussing.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'll be honest with you. I was chatting to a youngster. I think he's 20. Yeah. He's also finding himself in that work situation, trying to figure out what
Yeah.
to do with life, whatever. I was chatting to him on Sunday, and I was literally taking him through the process of the 4 episodes we did. You
Oh
know what I'm
wow,
saying? Like step by
that's
step.
cool,
And then halfway through, I'm like, dude, you need to go and watch the Respawn podcast. And he's like, what's that? And
bro, bro.
I was like, bruh, come on, where have you been?
You know
Um,
that meme is like, bruh.
Yeah. Bruh. I'm actually gonna add that sound effect in post. Bruh. But yeah, and I actually took him through it and I was like, dude, you gotta go listen to this thing because what we talk about and the way we brought it across, he's gonna find useful. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying? Because everything I was explaining to him, he's like, oh my gosh, that's so true. That's so true. And I'm like, watch the podcast, bro. Watch the podcast.
you are our audience.
Yeah, watch
You
the
need to
podcast, like
watch.
but I think consequently, or shall I say subsequently, to the first 4 episodes we did on the process. I mean, look, we had great fun. I think we learned a lot about what is possible, with respawn, and the kind of angle we want to take. I think
Yeah.
people really, really enjoyed how our approach to things.
Mm.
So I got a lot of feedback about how we kept it simple. We kept it practical. I think a lot of people loved that we brought in the emotions and the thoughts.
Yeah.
Because that's really the key. We can talk about a lot of theory and a lot of principles, but unless people connect with the emotion that you're conveying, or like the emotion in the story, it's very
Yeah.
difficult for them to grasp what you're saying. So I think tonight we decided that we were gonna talk about uh, kind of one of the crucial elements of the process, and that's discipline.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying, and I know that's like a difficult word for everyone to hear because, dude, let's be honest. Discipline and consistency. Oi, everyone's just
It's kind of like swear words, man. It's
yeah,
like, oh, did you have to mention that?
yeah,
I couldn't get my cake and eat it too. Is that what you're trying to tell me, Bash? I can't go through my process just like smoothly. I have to be disciplined.
yeah,
You want me to
yeah.
have consistency, bro? It's difficult, man.
And it's like everything that we said in those 4 episodes. I agree with you that I did see on the faces of the people that I did speak to about those episodes. They were saying that what it's like, it's an eye opener. You
Yeah.
know, it's an eye opener. And one of the things that I also appreciated that I heard was that it makes things achievable.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
It's a
you know what
cool
I'm
way of
saying?
seeing it. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
very
because if you're not in the process, right? If you don't
yeah.
understand the process objectively or clearly, or if it's not practical, right? Then everything's mystical. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
it's hard to do something practical with it. It's hard to achieve and progress in it. You know what I'm saying? So that was one thing that I really enjoyed, is that people thought that, okay, wait a minute, this can be done. I mean, they understand what it's going to take to get it done,
Mm,
but this can be done, But
yeah.
ultimately, we talk about discipline and consistency. Lou,
Yeah.
step one that we need to talk about. Right? So what we're
Give it to me, bro.
we're we're probably going to finish at 1 or 2 a.m. tonight, right? So right, let's talk about the consistency and discipline we need to have tomorrow morning. So we when the alarm goes off tomorrow morning, what's the first feeling you're gonna have, bro? Give it to me straight. Tell our viewers honestly.
Can I be honest with you, bro?
Yeah, I'm hoping.
Every night that we do a podcast, audience, listen up. Every night that we do a podcast, we finish ridiculously late. The next morning, the alarm clock goes off at the same time as if I didn't finish ridiculously late. And the first thought that comes to my mind is, well, I'm justified to snooze this for another damn hour.
There's it. There's it. I like that. I like that.
Yeah. It's like, why not? I deserve it. You
Yeah.
know, what, I was up late last night. Yeah, I was doing the podcast. It wasn't going to get me any money or, do anything that's going to give me like financial gain. But you know what? I was working hard. Yeah, I was having a good time. It was hard work, man. Had these bright lights on me. I was talking to Bash for a damn hour or two.
Hey,
That's
hey,
hard work,
hey.
by the way.
Talking to me is not hard. Okay. Okay. You just need to reel it in, brother. Just reel.
But yeah, man, it's discipline and consistency. Definitely two of the biggest tools that we need to discuss when it comes to approaching the process, because
Mm,
to endure the process from beginning to end without those two tools in your back pocket, the chances are you're not gonna endure.
yeah.
And I
Yeah.
know that discipline, especially, is a bit of it's a tricky one because, and I'm speaking from my own past experience, Bash, is that as soon as I think of discipline, I associate it with some sort of pain,
Yeah.
whether it be a physical
Yeah.
pain. For example, if you're training abs at the gym, discipline to do that, it's horrible. You literally block it out in your mind. You don't ever want to do it. Discipline to sit down and study when everyone else is maybe not doing studies, it's difficult, man.
Mm.
So maybe I don't know where you were going with that question that you asked me, but maybe we just need to break down what it is that we mean by discipline, and then sort of give the practical outset,
Yeah,
or
you see.
look on what that does for people.
I like that angle you're taking because I used to really live in a dream world, right? I had these. I had. What do you mean nice? It's
Well,
not nice,
it could have been glorious.
bro. But okay, not a dream world. It was a delusional world.
Fair.
Yeah, because I had this thing, and I really don't know where it came from, dude. And it stuck with me for so much of my life, right? It
Yeah.
was this thing where I would feel inspiration. Okay.
Okay.
And when I felt the inspiration, and eventually I got to the point, it's like, oh, that'd be great. That'd be nice. I
Yeah.
just, I just magically thought the stuff was gonna happen.
Oof.
You know what I'm saying?
I can relate. I can
Oh,
relate.
I'm like, Okay, looking back now,
Oh, oh, shucks, that's funny.
looking back now, I just think, and it was with so many different things. It was with
Yeah,
in school. It was sport. It was being a prefect. It was being in top 10. It was earning certain amount of money. It was passing exams in university, jobs in the real world. All that kind of stuff. For so long, I was in this delusional mindset that yeah, these things happen, sort of thing,
mhm.
and I had no basis for it.
None.
I
No
I, I
evidence
had
whatsoever.
it's like I think if you had me tested for insanity at that point, I would have been positive. I'm sure of it
You
because
still would be, bro.
yeah, fair. That's fair. Also, behave. but but I mean, if you think about it, like in hindsight, they always say hindsight is perfect vision.
Mm,
But
2020.
yeah, but what was I thinking? What was it that made me think it was okay to want my things and just wait for them to show up? You know? And I actually realized is because I was ridiculously selfish.
Oh, wow.
So let me
Break it
expound.
down,
Yeah,
man.
let me expound on what I'm talking about. Is that I wanted right all the environments around me to change instead
Yeah.
of changing myself.
Ooh,
So
that
what
is
is
quite selfish.
Yeah, so what do I mean, right? For example, so I was like, wow, it'd be so cool to be in top 10. I was like, oh, my mom would be so proud of me if I was in top 10,
Mm,
you know? I'm like, okay, cool. So what's in my mind? I'm like, oh, it'd be cool. I'd like to be in top 10. So in my mind, I'm like, okay, I'm just going to get there. So what must happen is the 40% that I'm getting for maths, everyone else
uh-huh.
must get lower than that.
Yeah, so we're
So,
just gonna need the first top 10
eh,
to start dropping
yeah, exactly.
consistently.
So listen, you guys who are in the top 10, y'all got to start doing worse so I can make it there. It's
Yeah.
like, um,
Oh, man. That is
Okay, okay.
delusional.
Yeah, it is, but it's because um I was so selfish in the sense that I wanted to stay where I was.
100%,
You know what
yeah.
I'm saying? The first couple of episodes we spoke about how God's designed us to be builders, creators, visionaries,
Yeah,
achievers, all these kind of things because in every single one of us there is this world of potential, and it's our responsibility to test that.
that's
We
it.
got to push that thing to the limit to see what it is. For what purpose? For the betterment of those around us and our environment. I wanted the feeling of achievement and greatness and, all these kind of things, but without producing anything.
Oof, that's a real reality, bro. That
Yeah.
really, really is.
You know what I'm saying? Now
I can
there
relate to that
is,
even with the real estate. I was like, I wanna be the top performer, so everyone must just stop selling more so much. Like, no, that isn't how it works.
and Jesus, he has a great example. I mean, he goes to a fig tree that has leaves,
Yeah.
right? He gets there and there's no figs on it.
Mm.
And that is such a prime example of wanting the elation and the celebration of achievement with no substance,
Yeah.
with nothing to offer. You with me?
Yeah.
And the truth is the only way you're gonna get there to offer something, right? Because remember, when you're there, whatever you achieve in your life, even though people do distort this thing and make it they make it selfish. Even
Mm.
though they do that, it doesn't mean that's what it's for. When you get there to the top, it's because you want to be able to give, you want to be able to help, you want to be able to serve, you want to be able to create opportunities, you want to be able to lead, to build people.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So whatever achievement you have, even if it is a simple thing of becoming an inspiration,
Mhm.
to those who are trying to get there or at least have the same desire, you can say to them, hey, this is possible.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But wanting success and wealth and the elation and the euphoria from achieving and building and creating without having anything to give, right? Is straight
Mm.
out delusional. You're living in a bubble that doesn't exist in the real world.
Yeah. 100%. And you see it with, for example, even with the youth, they almost like, let's go back to what we've mentioned in previous episodes, especially with the younger generations, the whole get rich quick sort of mindset that they have. They want to start earning bucks at a young age. They want to start doing all these so-called business ventures, but they're not even willing to go and wash cars on a Saturday
Mm.
afternoon. And it's just, well, you're kind of delusional to think that you're going to get to the place of making millions when you're not even willing to put in the work for a couple of hundred of bucks.
Yeah,
You get what I'm
100%.
saying? It's so delusional, but it's a reality.
Mm,
And
mm,
honestly, I personally believe one of the reasons for that delusion to come about is because people's perception of what discipline is completely incorrect.
100%. Like what you were saying. Yeah,
You know,
100%.
and myself personally, I avoided discipline throughout school for various reasons. I mean, I had the academic discipline because it just came easily in a sense, so there wasn't too much pain associated to it.
Wow. Must be nice to be smart, Lou. Wow.
Shut up, you behave now. But but my point is that the discipline came about because I didn't associate pain with it. But
Mm,
you put me in another
mm,
room where the same mechanic of discipline is required, and I must now have associated pain with it. Like, for example, training abs at the gym. You won't see me doing it.
yeah.
Even though, and this is the weird thing about discipline, is that even though you see the benefit it's going to bring, you still avoid it.
Mm, mm,
And that's a weird one for me, man, because that is what's kept me trapped in a delusion before, is that I can see the benefit to this discipline, yet I'll still choose not to follow through with it.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
now looking back at it now, it's realizing that because there's no real purpose, like you're just mentioning now,
Mm,
attached
yeah.
or driving the reason that I thought I should maybe be disciplined, or not be disciplined. The purpose wasn't good enough. The
Yeah.
purpose was selfish.
100%.
It
Yeah.
was it was self-sustaining, and it didn't sustain itself for too
Mm,
long, unfortunately.
mm. I mean, it's like what you're saying. Is it not true that people will only be committed to the point that they will get what they want to get?
100%.
I mean,
100%. As
I
soon
mean,
as you
think of it
change that, the whole picture changes.
completely.
Boom, gone. It's and it can happen like this, like literally overnight.
Exactly. And I mean, you'll be going like going and going and going and going. Like for example, let's say someone told you, "Listen, go study this thing
Yeah,
because this is the next big thing in the market." That's
yeah,
it. You go study this thing. If you go and study this thing, man, you are set for life. Dude, you won't skip a day, brother. I promise you.
yeah.
You won't skip a day, because you have created the value. You like, I'm going for this thing. This thing is boom. That is it. You know what I'm saying? Now, something that is seemingly beneficial is not necessarily valuable to you.
Mm, that is true.
Yeah.
That's a real reality, man.
Yeah.
And it's actually I'm busy laughing here while you're talking because I'm busy thinking about when I was in school and the
Mm,
guys that are my age around that 24, 25, 23 age group will relate to this is that when I was in school, you know what the next biggest thing was that everyone had to go and do
mm.
was Forex.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Online trading.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Forex.
bro, you can make like a million rand overnight, just like this. And then like all the guys I'm in school with go and like study it for like 7 days. And they realize, we just we don't have the capacity.
Hey,
you know?
geez, we don't have. But
And it's just funny because what you're saying is that it was beneficial but not valuable to them
mm,
because not once in their life have they shown any interest in finances
yeah.
or any form of trading or anything related to that.
Mm,
So there was no like real intrinsic value to it.
mm.
But they thought, let's give it a bash because we can see a benefit to it. But not sustaining, man.
No,
Not
of course.
sustaining at all.
Of course, of course. And it's also that thing of when we get to those circumstances, it's that misalignment of understanding that trying to achieve anything is a process. When we've
Hmm.
we've we've spoken about that, but the thing is now is that we have already committed, emotions and imagination and everything to the finished product and what it would be like in there
Yeah,
that when we in that process phase, right? We
yeah,
realize me getting this emotion is really far away right now. Let me just go scroll on my phone. Let me just go play some games. Let me just, eat some chocolate, get some sugar. That kind of stuff.
yeah,
Because the truth is, it's the steadfastness when going towards that end goal that we imagine. You know what
yeah,
I'm saying? That's the part that discipline lacks in, is that steadfastness is not there.
yeah,
So whenever we're looking at it, like let's take software development, right? So you
yeah,
busy with the web stuff now, right?
yeah.
How many hours have you clocked in that thing? If you had to,
Sheesh. I'd say like well over 60 hours by now, bro.
sheesh.
That's tip of the iceberg, man. It's
Yeah.
like,
And
yeah,
listen, that's just the learning part. You haven't even built anything yet.
dude,
Yeah.
come on, man. Don't put me down like this,
No, no,
Bash.
no, no, no. I'm just
Encourage me,
explaining.
bro.
Yeah, I'm explaining. I'm explaining. Because the thing is, I've shared the same journey. I mean, I've
Yeah,
been on the software development journey. So
yeah.
you're on the 50 plus club. Well done. That's there. I'm like on the 130 plus club. You know, it's dude. But it's that sort of thing, and I realized the difference in my life now versus how it was in that delusional bubble that I was talking
Mm,
about. Like I would sit back in the day. I would sit and imagine. Let's take tennis for example. I would sit and
yeah.
imagine that wow, see myself hitting this backhand. Oof, yeah. See myself serving the thing. Oh, like, oh, this is great. This is great. And this is a tactic a lot of motivational speakers do today. Like, see
Uh,
yourself, see yourself, see
oh,
yourself. I'm
yeah.
like, listen, yeah, but you don't live in a imaginary world or something like that, right? So what happens in those scenarios is that you end up with all these imaginations and everything, and you're like, wow, And some people are so crazy; they'll even get to the point where they'll tell people, "No, I can't do that." You're like, really? It's like, yeah, no, no, I've seen myself. It's like, no, no, hold on. And then when the reality hits the fan, you get on the tennis court, for example, and you try and hit that backhand.
Yeah.
And it's like,
Damn, that was not how I imagined it.
oh, wait a minute, hold on,
Yeah.
and we find ourselves in this weird thing because is what's in your head real? Is what you see in your heart real? You know,
Sheesh.
because that's the question, isn't it? Like
Hmm?
because a lot of people will be different. I mean, we have a lot of things that are happening in people's heads that they think are real in to today's world. We won't get too deep into that. Maybe if the viewers request, we can unpack that. But
Yeah.
my point is that listen, what is in your head is a form of reality,
Yeah.
right? Why? Because you're having an experience with it, so it's a form of reality. A vision in your heart is a form of reality. But we need to understand that the physical world, right, is a
Mm,
form of reality.
that's it.
You know what I'm saying? So the physical world is the most sensory real thing to us. You
Yeah.
understand what I'm saying? And the physical world is where we live. It's where we conduct ourselves. It's where we live with each other. It's where we do whatever we need to do, right? But those having a vision in your heart, having a image, and whatever, all that kind of stuff. Those guys were talking about. There is a responsibility, okay, to do what is necessary to bring that forward.
Yeah.
You with me? I mean, you take Lou. You were talking about art in episode 1 or 2, whatever it was. I mean,
Yeah.
the thing about artists and artists not limited to visual, obviously music and all that kind of stuff. I'm like, when they bring it out and it's a finished product, you know what my first thing is? I'm like, this existed in your head first. It's like I listen, like for example, guitar music, for example.
Yeah.
Some of the things people write. I'm like, dude, before you played this on the guitar, you heard it in your head.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Now, hearing it in your head or seeing it with your imagination or experiencing it in your heart, there isn't this spontaneous zoom, magic pixie dust that just makes things happen.
No, not at all.
You understand what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
that's really for me the link I was missing is that I thought imagining it in whatever was enough. I'm like, listen, because through our imaginations we can experience those emotions.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah.
Have you ever got into an argument in the shower with those shower bottles, bro?
Ooh.
What,
Ooh, KO, brother.
my bro? No
KO. First
survivors.
round. KO.
That is it. No survivors. And the worst part is like from the day before, you were arguing with
Yeah.
someone, but you didn't have a response. Those text
Yeah.
arguments. The ones where it's like this long, and then you got to click read more, read more, read more. You know those ones, right?
Yeah.
And then they hit you with something, and you didn't reply. You're like, no, 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 I'm coming back for this. And the next morning,
Mm.
you're upset. You're in the shower. You're washing your hair, and then you're like, yeah. And if he says this, if he says that, dude, you get out of that shower upset.
Yeah.
You upset
You rile
yourself.
up. You're back in the argument.
There's no physical reality for you to be upset about this.
Yeah. There's
But
no one arguing with you anymore,
exactly,
but you're
but
upset.
I mean, if you had to take your blood pressure at that point, the doctor will tell you, listen, you got to chill.
Oof, yeah.
You just gotta breathe a bit. This is not good for you.
You
So
need to find some zen, man.
exactly. So it's a well proven fact that our imaginations can create emotions for us. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? And what happens is when we leave it in there, we're satisfied with the emotion.
Mm,
You with me? And I suppose the lesson that I've learned is that we got to disconnect from just being satisfied with the emotion.
that's it.
You with me? That's the
Yeah.
thing, because if we live purely for emotional experiences, purely for seeking a certain type of emotional environment, or emotional experience, it's going to be very difficult to firstly be stable, and be consistent,
Yeah.
be a person that isn't all over the place, and secondly to actually do something, to
Yeah.
achieve something, to build something, because there is no building process that goes smoothly.
Mm,
Even if you automate it with machines to the nth degree, it's going to break at some point, because that's just how it works. It's everything tends to chaos. You
yeah.
with me? So when we look at it, and we see, it's like, okay, wait, maybe these emotions that I'm feeling now, and what I've created with my imagination, and all that kind of stuff. Maybe I should just take the responsibility to say, okay, I can actually work on making this a reality. Because you
Mm,
remember, once it's a reality in the physical world, we keep experiencing it.
yeah.
Do you understand what I'm saying? But not just for our benefit, but the benefit of everyone else. You know, so
100%.
so back to your thing you were saying about purpose, right? That's really the thing, because the age old question is this. A lot of people's like, oh, I gotta wake up and I gotta go to work today. It's like, okay, but if you didn't need the money, would you still go to work?
What would you do? That is a good question. Good question, man.
Yeah, but if
And majority of people will tell you no, not at all.
that literally, I would not be surprised at how high that percentage is, because we've all been there before.
Yeah.
But the question is then, is that okay? So we understand that if we don't work, okay, we don't eat. Basic principle. You don't
Yeah.
earn money, you're not going to be able to do anything in this world, right? But then, how then do we actually ask the question? Is that okay? Is there more to life than working?
Yeah.
Absolutely, way more to life than working.
Mm,
Say same thing with, like, let's take the gym, Lou. It's, let's say people are going on a holiday, right?
mm.
December's approaching, okay, dude. I promise you, the next 2.5 months, the gyms, this is where they make the money, bro. I am
Bro, it's
telling
already
you.
happening. I walked into Planet Fitness today. There's a line of 15 people. I'm like, since when is there a line to get through automatic gates? I was put off, man.
It's like, I'm just going back home. What the heck is this? Yes, you know. But it's the truth. Now think about it. Right now, anyone who knows about fitness and stuff, when you have very severe weight loss, like very rapid, sorry, weight loss, it's that weight doesn't stay off.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. So what happens? People push it, man. Boom. They get ripped, slim and trim for December, their holiday, beach
Mm.
bodies, all the rest, all cool, everything. Come back January, whoop, there we go. They're not even at square one. They before,
Yeah.
But what was the purpose for that effort? The purpose for that effort was, I gotta look good on the beach.
Mm.
Are you with me? That's the thing, and the truth is that we need to redefine the purpose that we give our effort.
Sure. Yeah, that's a big one.
You know what I'm saying?
That's
Because
massive.
what if the purpose for my effort in the gym was to have a healthy, fit, strong body,
Yeah,
a
that's a much
body
more long-term goal right there.
exactly, a body that is that has longevity. You know what I'm saying? A body that's not going to grow tired and weak and all these things, but a body that's going to last me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like you look at bodybuilders, right? And whenever they are getting ready for competitions, and all that kind of stuff, dude, they go crazy. Like, that weird moment where they look leathery.
Mm.
Where they what's the name? They're cutting and they're getting the
Like
water
zero
out.
water left in the body.
Yeah, it's
Like I
crazy.
can see.
All that kind of stuff. But even in that, they go to an extreme to win the competition, whatever. And a lot of seasoned bodybuilders will tell you, listen, you can't keep this up. This is bad for you.
Yeah,
And the ones who do keep it up to an unreasonable level, they'll tell you they suffer with their joints, they suffer with their blood pressure, they suffer with,
hip
you know,
replacements, everything, man.
yeah, all that kind of stuff. So So I mean, I don't know if you want to add something to that, giving a different purpose to our effort. You know.
Yeah, I'd say it's quite a it almost sounds radical. Not many
Mm,
I haven't come across many people that actually think about it to that degree,
mm,
in all honesty, because what I've found, and this goes for all age groups and people across the board, is that things just become autopilot in
mm.
the sense that there is no purpose really to anything apart from, well, this is what I do because this is what it gives me.
Yeah.
So I go to work because it pays the bill, puts food on the table, X, Y, and Z. There's no actual purpose.
Mm,
And there's usually no purpose that involves people beyond themselves, which
mm.
is the sad part in a sense. And I guess I think there's a fundamental step that people and ourselves as individuals need to take before we can repurpose the effort that we're putting into things, and that is to come to a better way. And obviously, we know what that is.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, and for
Yeah.
the audience out there, that is coming to Christ, because once you look to Christ, you do begin to see things in a much different light.
Mm,
You begin to see yourself, what you're mentioning about those imaginations and the realities up, yeah, and how they, what you experience and what it sets you out to do on a day to day in the physical. It changes a lot once you interact with Christ and see what your identity is from that point of view.
yeah.
So that's
Yeah.
quite a can of worms that could be opened. Um, but I do think that's a crucial step before we can even consider, to be honest
Absolutely.
with you,
Yeah. Absolutely.
repurposing any sort of effort. And,
Mm,
going back to the discipline, just changing that in and of itself requires us to go to Christ,
mm.
because then discipline goes from being a daily practice to being part of your character.
Yeah.
And that's a
Exactly.
huge difference. Once discipline's part of your character, you don't associate the same, how can I say, negative aspects that you did before,
Mm, mm.
if that makes sense. I'm not too sure if you
100%.
can relate to that. I
Yeah.
mean, what I find with discipline, this is the contrast that I made in my mind back then when I was still busy growing up and in school and stuff, is that discipline always required me to really think about it. I had to really put my mind to it, put my mind to the task, and make sure I was then acting it out,
Mm,
right? Whereas once I came to know Jesus and the discipline slowly began to become a part of who I was,
yeah.
because now I'm seeing value in things apart from myself, I don't have to think about being disciplined anymore because the value carried that through.
Mm, mm.
So now I'm in a place where I can now repurpose my efforts because I can change my whole reason, the whole value system for actions that are now taking place. And that's going to be a step that everyone that's busy listening to this, everyone in the audience needs to make for themselves,
Mm.
to say, hey, that sounds pretty cool, you know?
Yeah.
And it's an interesting proposition for everyone that's listening here, is that wouldn't you like discipline not to be something that's painful,
Of course.
not to be something that requires constant action from your side?
Mm.
Would you not want discipline to become a natural part of who you are?
No, of course. Of
You get what
course.
I'm saying?
Yeah. And it's yes, I like what you mentioned there about the value part of it, and going beyond the selfish purpose of our actions.
Mm.
Because the truth is, a lot of people think it's either or. Like what you mentioned, for example, getting up and going to work, all these kind of things. Um, I think there is this expectation that it must be either or.
Yeah, well,
You know what I'm
dude,
saying?
completely. It's either I work or I do my dream, my passion.
Yeah,
I can't do both.
exactly. Or I can't be stuck. I can't be busy with something in the meantime.
Yeah,
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And I don't know
yeah,
where those kind of extreme viewpoints originate. I think they originate in different places for everyone.
everyone,
But
yeah.
but but the point I wanted to make about it was is that wherever you are and whatever you're doing, your purpose for that day, that your purpose for your life, for who you are, um, is independent of those activities.
Yeah,
In the other episodes we were talking about that external anchor. You
yeah.
know what I'm saying? And this is the same way. Is like when we look at how some people's like, I just want to, I just want to be this kind of boss, and I just want to own those businesses, and I just
Mhm.
want to, I just want to be there, and it's cool. But I don't want to do anything in the meantime to gain skill or experience or knowledge or understanding. I just want to arrive there one day and then just make it happen. You know what I'm saying? And the
Yeah,
truth is because um, a lot of us will not accept ourselves or see ourselves as successful or achieving or anything until we get to that place.
Yeah.
But the truth is, we understand that we are whole, we're successful, we're complete, we're everything, we're valuable, we have purpose in Christ. So
That's it.
before we've even done any activity, action, whatever it may be, before we've done any of that, we already have value in Christ. You know what I'm
That's it.
saying?
We're qualified, man.
That's it, and the truth, the reason why we have value is because he loves us.
Yeah.
When you love something, it means it's valuable to you.
Yeah.
So that means we are valuable to God, and the thing when you're talking about is like sometimes I can see this in front of me. Why don't I just do it?
Mm.
I'll use a basic example, all right?
Yeah.
Let's say it's like really hot and you're going to a pool party.
Yeah.
You get two kinds of people. You get the people who first feel it with their hand, like, okay, cool. Then they dip, they stand on the side like that and they dip the one foot in, like, oh, okay. You
Whole
know?
process within the process.
Yeah. Then they're gonna go onto the step, then they're gonna take one more, one more, one more. And the
Ooh.
truth is they
Yeah.
are suffering the entire time they're trying because your body's so hot and then it goes up one level and they go, uh, and they're like, oh, it's cold, it's cold, it's cold, it's cold. And
And when
then
they reach the belly button, they tap out.
yeah, they're like, no, 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 I'm not doing it, I'm not doing it. But then you look at the other person, they're like, stuff it, I'm going in, boom, and they just jump
Yeah.
in. They enjoy the water for however long,
Yeah.
and this is linking back to what I was saying earlier, and um, when we think about things and when we start imagining and we start doing all these things
Mm.
independent of action, what happens is that the things in our head actually become unachievable.
That's it.
Seemingly
Stalls you so
small, yeah,
much.
seemingly small, trivial tasks immediately become these mountains that we're
Yeah.
going to need weeks and months to get over. You know what I'm saying? I'll never forget when I was still in corporate. I had one of the managers that I had at head office.
Yeah.
She was yes, she was a go getter. She was dangerous.
Yeah.
But no, I mean like in the good sense. She was that and I promise you, every time. Now the culture of corporate is we come together, we decide, then we go away. We're like,
Yeah.
okay, we'll do that, and then you
Yeah.
you you come back 4 weeks later, or we'll come together. Oh, we didn't do that. We'll decide to do it again, and we go away. So she
Yeah.
she arrived. She arrived, and she realized, listen, this attitude is toxic. This is not going to do anything. So
Mm.
because I was working quite closely with her, we'd make a decision. She's like, no, no, do it now. I'm like, nah, I don't want to do it now. It's like, okay, Bosh, but if you do it now, it's going to take you 3 minutes. In 4 weeks' time, you're going to forget about it.
Yeah.
I
Hmm.
looked at her. I was like,
I think you're onto something. I can't argue with that logic.
wait, wait. I can give up 3 minutes right now,
Yeah.
and that can be free. It's because listen, for me personally, there's nothing worse than having somebody on the back of your head.
Oh man.
You know that
Yeah.
that
Just keeps on
yes,
nagging you. It's like an itch that you can't scratch.
dude, that constant weight on you, and it doesn't matter how much fun you're trying to have. It doesn't matter the coolest people that you're with. It doesn't matter anything. That thing's always here. You
Yeah.
know. But the truth is, if I took 3 minutes, 20 minutes, half an hour, whatever, that thing would be done.
Boom.
It'd be gone.
On to the next.
And the thing is that the freedom we experience from that, and the dopamine we experience, the elation, the euphoria, all these kind of things we experience from that, we've replaced with entertainment. So I would
Instant gratification.
exactly. I would rather binge watch my TV series. I would rather play games. I would rather watch movies. I would rather be scroll social media
Yeah.
instead of doing that because I do understand that I need that sense of satisfaction and getting things done, right? But I don't want to go and do the effort. Maybe because I'm insecure. Maybe because I'm lazy. Maybe because I think I can't do it. Whatever it may be, right? But I'm gonna replace it with social media and then actually not end up doing anything. You with
Yeah.
me? So the simple thing, and I use the pool example for that, is that if I separate the emotion, the fear, the insecurity, and everything of doing something and getting it done, right?
Yeah.
If I look at it objectively, right,
Yeah.
then what's going to happen is I'm going to see that, wait a minute, it's actually not going to take that much for me to get this done. And I still have plenty of life left over afterwards.
Yeah.
You with me? Plenty
Yeah.
of life left. I mean, I had this phase, dude, where I would do everything before I would do what was necessary. So I'd be carrying on
That's
with,
like the beginning of our podcast, man.
dude, literally. I would be carrying on with everyone, cool, cool, cool. Then at 11:30 at night, when everyone goes to sleep, I sit down, I get it done. I carry on until 4:30 in the morning. I'm like, wow, cool, this was cool. I got it done. Yeah, 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 nice. What kind of day do you think I had the next day, brother?
Yeah, zombie bash, man. Zombie
Exactly.
bash.
Now here's the thing. Let's talk about let's link back to what we spoke about the body, right?
Yeah,
Do you know that, a simple 30 minutes a day or a few times a week of basic functional movements, compound exercises, increased heart rate, right?
yeah.
Will extend your longevity decades.
Exponential, man. Exponential.
I mean, now you think about it, that's not even a huge percentage of a day. I mean, 30 minutes out of 24 hours is not huge.
Yeah,
You with me? But why do we avoid it? It's because it's the emotions that are involved that affects our discipline.
yeah. Well, I think we can almost sum it up like that. That if we want to say that, you know what, I'm going to engage on this process, one of the tools in my pockets that I've got now is discipline.
Mm.
But now, what is that? I think maybe a cool way to sum it up based off what we've been discussing is that discipline is simply removing the emotion from the action that's necessary.
Yeah, that's it.
And to be more specific, the emotion that's preventing you from engaging into that activity. Because listen, emotion, it is not necessarily, let's not throw the baby out with the bathwater. If you're feeling a good, positive, happy emotion to now go and do this activity, keep that with you.
Yeah, it's gonna help.
But yeah, 100%, so we're not saying go jump to the extremes here, guys, and be apathetic in the actions you take. But if you got an emotion that's holding you back,
Yeah.
be disciplined. Remove it.
Mm,
Remove it. It's got no reason to be there. It's serving no
exactly.
purpose. And
100%.
the more you do that, the more skilled you become at doing that, the easier it becomes.
Mm,
To the point where, like I said, discipline is then part of your character because you're actually mature enough to say, you know what, I'm engaging in this process. There's an end goal that's worth getting to, whether it's at the end of this action, at the end of 10 actions, but we're going to be disciplined. So we're going to remove the emotion from the action and we're going to get it done.
that's it.
You know?
100%. And I mean, you know, like we said, guys, whatever emotion you are feeling, it is not an indication of your value. We've repeated that.
Yeah.
All right.
Please write it down, put it on a sticky
Yeah.
note, do
We'll
something.
we'll put it as a strapping on the video,
Yeah.
But the truth is that, whatever emotion you are feeling in Christ, you have a justification to experience beyond that.
Yeah,
You have a justification to have a purpose way more than that. You know
that's
what I'm
it.
saying? So always remember that, guys. Is like, listen, if you're feeling down on a day and everything, you got to look to Jesus
That's
because
it.
your emotions change day in day out 55,000 times a day. All of us do, right?
Yeah,
But Christ doesn't. And he has said, we are fearfully wonderfully made. We are valued, we are righteous, we're holy, we're set apart, we're reconnected with him. Uh, uh, um, we have a purpose. You know what I'm saying? That our way of life is beyond ourselves. It's anchored on him and serving people, you know? So
that's it.
always remember that if you're struggling with discipline, remember your problem is not your existence as a human being, it's your emotion. It's your
Yeah,
emotion. And in that time where your emotions have the better of you, look to Christ, receive his grace. Like Lou was saying, get those emotions out the way. Receive his grace and choose to align yourself with him. And I promise you, in your own heart, you're going to experience such a life and such a joy in doing what you are purposed to do, and that is to serve God and to serve people. So,
that's it.
from myself, Bashiruni, grace and peace as always. Thank you for tuning into episode 5. We love you guys a lot. If there's anything you want us to talk about, if you need a chat, whatever it is, the links are in the description. Please get in touch with us. And please come and visit us at CWW. We want to see you there. We want to connect with you. That's where we'll be on Sunday mornings, 8:30. So yeah, until our next episode, Lou.
My turn?
Yeah,
Alright,
it's your
there we
turn.
go. Sorry, I got half my laptop covering the screen. I didn't see your hands, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, guys from our side, you know what, Basher Rooney. I like that nickname. Um, yeah, man, it's been great chatting to you about this. I think this is a really cool practical tool for everyone that's been listening to. You know what, guys? Take the emotion out of thinking about it too much and
Mm,
just apply it. Just go for it. Honestly, that is the best advice that I can give. I think next episode, perhaps we'll touch on one or two more practical tools, such as the consistency and the attitude that's necessary
yeah.
to, help you through a process. But from my side, guys, like Bash said, come see us on a Sunday at CWW. Remember in the description is the link to a further discussion about what we started off with the whole Israel Palestine story.
Mm.
And from our side, guys, as always, Welcome to Respawn.